Everybody, welcome. It is finally here. Day 0. Oh, I clicked a couple of buttons over there. How's everyone doing tonight? I'm a little washed out on my camera over here. I don't know why my camera does that. But I figure we would start this time, instead of doing the games, start with a couple of news reports. First things first, Takerufuji is out due to an injury. I can't read this, but somewhere along here it basically says that he had a nagging injury from the previous tournament and unfortunately carried over to this tournament, and he won't be able to compete, which is a real damn shame. And thank you also for the bits in the Twitch chat. It is really unfortunate that the previous winner is not going to be there, but it's better that he heals up, and who knows, maybe he can win again from Maegashira 17 next tournament. But in reality, it's unlikely that he falls to Judio 0-15 from Maegashira 6, but we'll see what happens after the tournament. As far as other injury news goes, we also have Asanoyama is out. It seems like he is completely cursed and will never be able to make it back to that Ozeki echelon, according to Patricia Dobashi, who translates some articles. The back of his right thigh cramps really easily, and the balance between his right and left leg muscles are effective, which precludes him from resuming his sumo training. Returning to the Makuuchi division after being suspended for 6 tournaments, he has suffered a series of injuries and unfortunately has not been able to finish any of them. Well, he has finished a few. That's how he got this far in the first place. But he has been plagued by injuries lately, and it is kind of sad to see. If you want to bring up his, Jamie, pull up his schedule. Asanoyama coming back as the Komusubi this Basho. You know, 2 tournaments ago, he dropped out early when he was well on his way to 10+ wins. The tournament before that, he started late, ended up 4-4-7. The 2 tournaments before that, again, another injury in the middle of the tournament, and a lot of that is like lower leg injuries, his calves, his thighs. It's really a shame that his lower body is starting to give out on him, but you know, that's just how it goes. Unfortunate, but it's likely we never see him back as an Ozeki, and it's sad that his return to Komusubi is already marred by injury. I would say that, you know, ordinarily I would say that he might see a return later in the tournament, but he is declaring it a full bye in May. It was a more serious injury. This time it is a serious injury. A knee is different from a separated leg muscle, and I don't want him to force it. So he will be out for the entire tournament. And with that, a bit of lighter news. Shishi has a new blue belt. Very beautiful, nice looking blue belt. Apparently the same color as the blue on the Ukrainian flag. Hopefully some of his stablemates can make it up to that judo division alongside him. And before anyone asks, yo, who's the black guy? Oh my god, a black guy in sumo. That is Ikazuchi-do. He is currently, I want to say, in the Sandamne division? Let me pull that up real quick. Ikazuchi-do is, he's Jonidan 7. Coming off of a 3-4 losing record back in March. So, you know, he'll be able to bounce back. And, oh, wait, I just closed something I didn't want to close. After that, we will, jump to a couple of fun videos and have a good time over there. But before we get to those fun videos, I actually remembered to submit my Guess the Banzuke this time. And as you can see, I actually had a middle-of-the-road score, 7-8, right below 8-7, 1 point off of a winning record. But I'm not really good at guessing the Banzuke. Let's see. Out of, you know, over 220 people, I am literally smack in the middle. So, unfortunate that I only got half of the Banzuke right. So let's go in and see what I did get right and what I did get wrong. So, of course, the very top of the Banzuke... Oh, that is loud. Hold on. The very top of the Banzuke, I got everything right except, you know, this Kotozakura guy came out of nowhere. No idea who he is, but he managed to take the place of Kotonowaka instead, and as a result, I didn't get points for that. Atamifuji Daisho was pretty obvious, and then after that, I got Hiradoumi and Gonoyama, but they're in the wrong spots. They're on the wrong side of the Banzuke from each other, so I had them right, but I just guessed the incorrect side, east-west. I did get same thing with Tobizaru and Takayasu, just wrong side of the Banzuke, so I only get a half of a point for that instead of the full 2 points, which kind of sucks, because, you know, if I just guessed those, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 points I just already missed out on, and that would have brought me, you know, away from this 53 number and up to 57, which is a 9-6 record. Let's see, after that, this is where things started to get a little weird for me. I predicted Takerufuji to go all the way up to Maegashira 4, and a lot of people were saying, you know, YouTube comments in Discord were like, why the hell are you putting him up so high? He's not going to go that high. And my reasoning was, because I want him there. Because I want him to be Maegashira 4. And unfortunately, I lose points for that. I get a point for Uda, but Oho, I completely missed on. He would actually be Maegashira 4 instead of the Maegashira 5 that I predicted, so I'll miss that. Onosho, wrong side of the bond, and actually this had a cascading effect too. So because I put Takerufuji at Maegashira 4, I miss out on a point on Oho. I only get 1 point for Onosho, who I got on the wrong side of the Banzuke, and then Meisei was actually a half of a rank down too to Maegashira 6. And if I had just swapped or put Takerufuji below these guys, I would have had more points there. So a little bit of irresponsibility on my part in guessing this Banzuke, but hey, you know, it's guessing. It's a fun thing. And then, of course, I nail Midori Fuji. 2 points right there for me. After that, Nishikigi, Takeyumi, I put them in the perfect spot for 2 more points, or each. After that, Takanosho and Koto Shouho, I guessed Koto Shouho and Tamawashi, so I get the half a point for Koto Shouho. Takanosho, I actually had him in Maegashira 10, and I would have thought he might, like, part of the, again, feedback I'll say I got from you guys in my YouTube comments was, you know, screwing over Takanosho with an over demotion, but I did truly believe Shonanoumi and Shodai would be above him, which clearly they're not. So I miss out on the Takanosho point, and as a result, I also miss out on, you know, Shonanoumi being at Maegashira 9, Tamawashi, I had him at Maegashira 8, I miss him by a half of a point, so I don't actually get him, and then Shodai, I got him on brand. So you can see how one mistake has a small cascading effect when guessing this Banzuke. Shonanoumi, if he was up higher where he should be, and Takanosho, or rather, if I guessed Takanosho up where he should be, then I would have had probably a bullseye on Koto Shouho, Tamawashi. Maybe not Shonanoumi, because I would have put Shonanoumi Maegashira 9. And, you know, there's another example of a cascading effect. If I had put Shonanoumi Maegashira 9 west, Shodai would have been Maegashira 10 east in my books, and I would have missed out on both of them. So a little bit of a silver lining there with the Shodai hit and the Shonanoumi miss. But after that, a couple more misses, half of a rank off Sadanoumi Kinbozan. Kinbozan fell on top of Sadanoumi, whereas I had Sadanoumi leapfrogging him. And then after that, a couple more hits, Hokuto Fuji, Ichiyamamoto, Nishiki Fuji, Mitoryu, Churanoumi, and then this again is where I start to get it wrong, because it's so difficult to place where some of these guys are going to be at the bottom of the Banzuke. Partly why I started from the bottom. We nailed Tsurugisho. We get half of a point for Takerufuji because we had him on the west side. He's on the east side. Let's see. I had Dayamami staying up, but he didn't. Yeah, Dayamami fell off. So Tomokaze being here, Let me see. Tomokaze 9 and 6 from Judio 3. Yeah, Tomokaze, I guess I just missed that. Yeah, now that I see it, Daiamami definitely should have fallen for Tomokaze, so I completely miss out on Tomokaze there. Roga, I get on point, but I do not get Ryuden, who was supposed to be, or who I thought was going to be next to him, especially after, where was his score? Ryuden. He had a 6 and 9 from Maegashira 3. I thought, or 13. I thought falling 1 to 2 ranks was appropriate, but they said 1 rank. I said 2 ranks, so I'll miss out on the Ryuden. And then Toki Hayate, I missed out by a half of a rank, as well as Oshoma. I will get a 0.4 because I had him on the east side. Again, that cascading effect of instead of getting 4 points, I only get 1 and then miss out on the other. So that really sucks. I'll stay with being good at Kachi Clash. I wish I could say the same. I'm only Maegashira 9 in Kachi Clash, and I'm pretty sure like my overall scoreline in this is also painfully average if you discount the ones that I've missed, you know, my Kyujo. But yeah, the guess the Banzuke, you know, some personal bias went into it. I clearly did not hit all of my marks, but that's okay. It's still fun to do, and I still got half the Banzuke right. It's all about having fun with that. And now we could talk about what everyone's really here for. The Kachi Clash, my picks to win. See my name right there, Leo Dickinson at Maegashira 9 West. Surrounded by a dude named Bacon Burglar. I hope he doesn't steal my bacon. Actually, if I were on the Banzuke, Maegashira 9 West, I would be Shodai. How realistic. And Lord Stanley, you said you were good at this game. You're only 3 ranks above me. Maegashira 6? Come on. I thought you were better than that. I would have expected Komusubi or something. But last tournament went pretty well for my Kachi Clash. Actually got top 100 off of 50 points, which is very unusual for me, but I rode the Takerufuji hype train like a lot of other people did. I really lucked out on my Gonoyama pick because, as you might remember, I rolled the dice between Gonoyama, Keen Bozan, and Tamawashi, and I really lucked out with that Gonoyama roll. Tobizaru, I gotta pick him. Wakamoto Haru, I expected the win, and I actually expected better from Kotonowaka, but 10 and 5 is still pretty good. So going into this Basho, let's enter the current tournament, and remember to get your picks in as well, everybody. So let's see, what do we got here? Yokozuna Terunofuji will be at the upcoming tournament. Whether or not he is full strength, I don't know. I assume there is a lot of speculation on whether or not he will be in it, whether or not he will sit out. I don't really know. But I was told that during group practices, he fought ONOSATO and lost a handful of times. Or was that Kotozakura? I know people were losing to ONOSATO in the group practices, so it's a good sign for ONOSATO. And Terunofuji has ONOSATO on day 1. That's going to be a really difficult matchup. And I believe a lot of people will be picking ONOSATO, but we're not there yet. Terunofuji, I want to believe he will finish this tournament, but I do believe he is still not at 100%. So I will not vote for Terunofuji. Hoshoryu and Kotozakura are 2 Ozeki 1, and truly, I believe, are 2 Yokozuna candidates here. Kotozakura, if I bring up the Banzuke again, Kotozakura and Hoshoryu. This is a different window, I know. So, I like both of these guys a lot. Kotozakura, the last 3 tournaments, I would have more reason to, have confidence in him. Jun Yusho playoff loss, 10-5 in his debut as an Ozeki. Now as Kotozakura, I believe he can carry this momentum forward. Like, this is crazy good momentum. He is on, we can even go all the way back. Since 2022, we don't count this Basho because it was a freak accident Basho. That was the COVID Basho, July 2022. But he has not had a losing record since January of 2022. He is going on 2+ years straight of winning records. And he's only getting better. He's only getting stronger. And thank you, Mississippi Cajun, for your tier 1 subscription. So I think the consistency is there with Kotozakura when it comes to him being a winner. Not being able to get over the edge, though, 2 Junyusho in a row, and then a 10-5 afterwards, again, that's crazy good for your debut as an Ozeki. I wholeheartedly believe he is on the path to Yokozuna. We will see this tournament if the adoption of the name Kotozakura has any effects on him, because, you know, sumo is just as much of a mental thing as it is a physical thing. Kotozakura, the name of his grandfather, Kotozakura, Yokozuna, so technically Kotozakura II now. I have to wonder if the pressure of having the name of his Yokozuna grandfather might break him. That's too harsh of a phrase, but that's the only one that comes to mind. But I have to wonder if that might be the case. Hoshoryu, on the other hand, he has winning consistency as well. If you want to go all the way back, his last losing record was also in November 2021, and he has had a big string of winning records since. He's been Sekiwake and Ozeki much longer than Kotozakura has. Kotozakura has only been in the Sanyaku ranks for a year before making it to Ozeki, whereas Hoshoryu, he needed 2 years, or a year and a half to make it to Ozeki. So they're both in the same situation where they are both certified winners. They are both insanely consistent. They are both as strong as can possibly be and can still even get stronger. And I believe between the two of them, it's very hard to choose. And you might say, but Leo, what about the other guys? And Takakeisho, I said it in my Discord, Takakeisho, if he's not injured, if he's full strength, he's a force to be reckoned with, sure. But last tournament, the tournament before that, and arguably the tournament before that, you could see he was not doing his best sumo. Injured for the past 2. The third one may be injured as well after that Yusho. So Takakeisho is a real toss-up, and honestly, I would not pick him if I was, you know, trying to win Kachi Clash. Kendrick Lamar, not like us, okay. So, I need to turn down the volume on YouTube. So, Takakeisho, I believe he can do it, you know. I believe that he is strong enough to get Yushos. It's just a matter of, is he actually healthy? And that's the question. If Takakeisho is healthy, he is equally as strong as Kotozakura and Hoshoryu. If he's not healthy, that's when the problems arise. And then we have Kirishima, who fought the entire previous tournament injured so he could be at the Senshuraku party with his stable master, because if you're Kyujo, you can't go to parties. So, as far as his strength goes, again, certified winner. He's been in, you know, the tippy top of the division since September 2022. Comparing it to these other guys, you know, Kotozakura, the earliest, or rather the most recent guy to make it up to the Sanyaku. Hoshoryu, older than Kirishima in terms of the Sanyaku ranks, because he made it up there in March of 22. Excuse me. So Kirishima is kind of right alongside those guys, except for, again, his injuries. Now, I don't believe he's as injury prone as Takerufuji, so I don't think he's going to drop out due to injury. And reports that I've seen were that he is fully healed, and even Kakuryu is saying, his stable master is saying, like, yeah, he's ready, he's good, he's taking it on. So I believe that if you wanted to like put odds on the Ozekis here, it would be like 30% Whole Shoryu, 30% Kotozakura, 20% Kirishima, and 10% Takerufuji. Because again, I don't know if Takerufuji's full strength. I don't know if he still has a neck stinger. I don't know if he tore another pectoral muscle, you know? So, we'll see. But for me, myself, I'm definitely choosing between Whole Shoryu and Kotozakura. And I 100% choose Kotozakura. He's my favorite out of all 4 Ozeki. I'm choosing him. And I mean, everyone else is an equally strong pick, you know? Terunofuji, again, if he's healthy, I don't think he's going to be healthy enough. I think he drops out maybe day 4 or 5. Hopefully he doesn't give away too many Kinboshi. But I don't believe Terunofuji's going to make it to the end of the tournament. Whole Shoryu, Kotozakura, they're going to be 2 of those top guys. Kirishima, probably going to be one of those top guys. Takerufuji, I have no reason to believe that Takerufuji is going to, you know, be his usual Yusho winning self. But he has the strength there. We know it. We know he does. Takerufuji, definitely the dark horse. Next group of people is the Sekiwake and Komusubi. We already lose out on Asanoyama. He is out for injury. Wakamoto Haru and Abi, the 2 best friends, occupying the Sekiwake slots, so that's cute to see. And Wakamoto Haru, he's solid. He's not Ozeki material, but he's not bad. I mean, he's a top 6 sumo wrestler. He's literally number 6. So coming off of a 10-5, 9-6 after his first losing record as Sekiwake, like look at his winning records too. September of 2022, 10-5. November, 10-5. As a Komusubi, debut Komusubi, 9-6. Second tournament as Komusubi, 11-4. Sekiwake, 10-5. Like, he has the strength. It's there, but we know that he doesn't have the strength to go over that edge. He can't push it past, you know, what he has. Coming off of 19 wins in the past 2 tournaments, he would need 14 to get the 33-3 for Ozeki. I don't think that's going to happen, but I do like Wakamoto Haru here. Abi, on the other hand, forever Komusubi, pusher thruster style, like Daisho, very inconsistent. Like, look at that, 5 losses and then like 7 straight wins later in the tournament. 12-3 Yusho into 8-7, you know, like his inconsistency is too wild. I would not vote for Abi here. So I just get him off right now. And that brings up the big boy ONOSATO. This is his 6th tournament in Grand Sumo. Komusubi. That is insane. Oh, sorry about that. But that was another follow alert, and I don't have my Streamlabs up, so I can't see who that was, but thank you very much. In terms of ONOSATO's strength and potential, anyone can tell you that it's there. Anyone... Why is my green screen freaking out? Anyone can tell you that he's got it. He has the potential, he has the strength. It's just a matter of, again, I think it's going to be a matter of the mental. Will he lose anything being at Komusubi, or will he like let that empower him? Will he... Oh, yeah, I have to log in. Whoopsies. Will he succumb to the pressure, or will he show up like no one has before? It's hard to say because he's so fresh and young. Like, he's only had 2 tournaments in the top division, and both of them were 11-4s. It's really, really hard to say what might happen here, what he might do here. And as much as I want to say he's gonna win, And as much as I want to be on his hype train, son of a gun, I keep having pop-ups pop up. I don't really know. Like, it's way too hard to call. Again, another dark horse here. Probably the most popular pick you can have, but I don't believe it would be the best pick. You know what I mean? I don't believe ONOSATO is the smart choice. But then again, I'm not about making smart choices. It's tough. Let's see, LeoDickinsonSumo stream labels. Thank you. Sorry, I'm doing tech work while I'm streaming. But yeah, it's really tough to say. He has Terunofuji day one, and if he beats Terunofuji, I think he can go 15-0. But if he loses to Terunofuji, he can go 14-1, you know? That's a huge difference. Honestly, I would coin flip between Wakamoto Haru and ONOSATO, but I'm going to jump on the ONOSATO hype train because we don't have a Takerufuji hype train to jump on. Next up, we have Maegashira 1 through 5. Atami Fuji, Daieisho, Hirado Umi, Gonoyama, Takayasu, Tobizaru, Oho, Uda, Onosho, and Meisei. The funny thing here is that I truly think there is no wrong answer. I don't think there is a single wrong answer here. Oh, who's barking? Who's barking? Sorry, Princess just got home. She was out doing a Lolita event with our new friend. So anyway, Hirado Umi might be the only person here who is the wrong call. If you want to look at his previous record, Maegashira 4, he was fighting down for most of the tournament. He fought 3 guys in the top of the division, the Sanyaku ranks. He lost to Takakeisho, who was hurt. He beat Kirishima, who was hurt. And he beat Daieisho, who just performed really poorly. So Hirado Umi, I think, is the most green out of anyone else here. And I would not trust him to get a winning record. You could say the same for Atami Fuji as well. 8-7 off of Maegashira 2. 6-9 from Maegashira 1. And being Maegashira 2, we knew he had to fight up. But again, he beat an injured Kirishima. He beat an injured Takakeisho. I mean, he lost to Abi. So, a little all over the place. But again, this is a group where anyone can win. Daieisho, former Sekiwake, Yusho winner, has the strength to do it. We know he does. He's fighting the same guys. And you could say, well, he just got a 6-9 against all these same guys. Who's to say he won't do it again? And fair point. Gonoyama, he's been up here before. Well, no, he hasn't actually. He and Hirado Umi are debuting at Maegashira 2. These are their new 2 highest ranks. But he has been up here before, 5-10. But bouncing back with a 10-5, we can even look at who he lost to here. Sekiwake, Yokozuna. He beat Hoshoryu, but then lost to Kirishima. Atami Fuji is right above him. Abi is right above him. Uda is near him. Asanoyama's out. Takanosho is nowhere near him, so not going to fight him. So we could extend that to Hirado Umi and Gonoyama are both real dark horses for this grouping. I wouldn't really vote for either of them. Takayasu, Papa Bear, Papa Yasu. We know him. We love him. He's a great guy. He's been up here many, many times. Former Ozeki. We want him to make it back there, but it seems less and less likely every tournament. Coming off of a Jun Yusho, but that was fresh off of an injury. So, again, now that he kind of has a history of injuries, it's hard to say and it's hard to believe that you know, he's going to have that full strength. And as much of a fan favorite as he is, as much as we love him, and as much as you can buy a Takayasu sticker in my merch store right now, I don't think I would pick him, honestly. There are other stronger contenders here. Tobizaru, he's a wild card. We've seen him go 9-6 and 6-9 from this position. So, and he has been up here for the better part of like a year and a half, almost 2 years now. So, you know, the Monkey Man, he can find ways to win against all of these opponents. He's found ways to win against everyone up here, and this is a comfortable spot for him to be in. The thing is, too, because Asanoyama is injured, there's like a 100%, well, that and Takerufuji can't fight Terunofuji. There is a 100% chance Tobizaru will have to go through the gauntlet up here, but we've seen him steal wins from these guys. We've seen it happen. He has Takakeisho's number. He beat Hoshoryu. He beat injured Kirishima, sure. He got the Fusensho against Terunofuji, but he has beaten Terunofuji before. So, I mean, Tobizaru, he can win. Oho. Now, Oho, you might think, same as Hiradaumi and Gonoyama. And he probably will have to go through that gauntlet as well. But even a 7 and 8 from that career high Maegashira 3, that's not bad. We can see he beat Daieisho, he beat Terunofuji, he beat Atamifuji, he beat Nishikigi, who is nowhere near, Kitanowaka, who's nowhere near, Uda, who's right there. So maybe Oho is in this group of don't pick him because he's too green. I think they will be able to surprise, but I don't think they will get a winning record. Ura, of course. Ura. 6 and 9, 2 straight tournaments after making his debut at Komusubi. But again, we've seen him win from this exact position. 9 and 6, 7 and 8. You know, this time last year, 2 7 and 8s. Again, kind of tricky like Tobizaru, but I feel like he's also more predictable than Tobizaru, and that's why he performs worse than Tobizaru. You can call Tobizaru and Uda technicians. They're interesting, they're silly, they do weird things in the ring. The fellow got auto. Oh, I forgot to turn down auto mod. My bad. I'll do that a little bit later. But Uda, I mean, if you want to pick Uda because he's your favorite and because he's pink, go ahead. But if you want to pick Uda because you think he's the best winner here, just pick Tobizaru instead. Tobizaru is just a better version of Uda. That might ruffle some feathers. Onosho, I said he could win here, and historically he used to, you know, a couple of years ago. But nowadays, every time he makes it up this high, 3 and 12, 6 and 9, 4, 5, 6. Like, no Onosho. Ooh, I caught that gnat in my hand. And I accidentally let it go, so I had to catch it again. Same thing with Meisei, honestly. Meisei, former Sekiwake, he was up there, but horribly inconsistent. 1 in 14 from Maegashira 3, but that was most likely an injury. And then, you know, 5 and 10 from Komusubi, 5 and 10 from Maegashira 4. Maegashira 6, Kinboshi 8 and 7 with 6 straight losses. 6 and 9 Kinboshi at the last tournament, 9 and 6 the tournament before that. So he's all over the place, and I do not trust him to get a winning record. In short, Atamifuji, Daieisho, Takayasu, Tobizaru are your best bets here. Maybe, if you want to go with one of these debutantes at these new highest ranks, maybe Hiradaumi and Gonoyama, but I'll still call you crazy for that. So, Tobizaru, unironically, and with no bias, I think is the best pick in this position. And yes, it is biased, but I mean, just thinking objectively too, I think he's the best pick in this position. The dogs are a little hyper because Princess brought home her new friend, or rather the new friend had to drop her off. And now she's here, and the dogs are like, ooh, new person, different person. Let's see. Next section. Takerufuji, he would have been the favorite to be picked. Unfortunately, he cannot be picked because he is out for injury. Very unfortunate, and I will be sure to give them a treat in just a second. Midorifuji, Nishikigi, Mitakeyumi, Takanosho, Koto Shoho, Tamawashi, Shodai, Shonan no Umi, and Kinbozan. Truthfully, the only name that speaks to me here is Midorifuji. And even then, that's still kinda Like, all of these guys are the definition of mid, which is why they are in the middle of the Banzuke here. Some of these guys, the younger guys like Kinbozan, Shonan no Umi, you can give them a little bit of leeway because they're still fresh on the Banzuke, you know? They're still fresh to sumo. Well, not you, Shonan no Umi, but they're still fresh to this top division. Like, Shonan no Umi will have almost survived a whole year in this top division if he can avoid a disastrous losing record. Kinbozan has been in this top division for a little over a year now, and, well, this isn't even his highest scoreline. He was injured for a few days at the previous tournament. I hope he's gotten over that by now. But I think these guys, these two, Shonan no Umi and Kinbozan, are probably good picks because they are still getting stronger tournament by tournament. They still haven't reached their ceiling yet. If you're into the older guys, old reliable, Shodai is your man. Nah, Tamawashi, definitely. But, I mean, you can kind of tell Tamawashi is not as fast, he's not as strong, and, you know, deteriorating is too strong of a word, but the man is pushing 40. He is turning 40 in November. And if he can make it to 40 in the top division, that would be amazing. Like, that would be incredible. That would be insane. I believe Tamawashi is going to do that Tochinoshin slow drop where he's going to get like 7 and 8s for like 5 tournament straights, dropping 1 rank at a time, and then get like a 9 and 6 just to boost back up a little bit. But Tamawashi, I don't think I trust him anymore to get winning records. Especially don't trust him anymore to pull this 13 and 2 Yusho out of his hat. And as much as we love him, I do believe Tamawashi is far from the best guy in this group. Speaking of being far from the best guy in this group, now we can move on to Shodai. Don't let Kongo hear you. 8 and 7 from the previous tournament. The former Ozeki is again looking aggressively mid in his second tournament outside of the Sanyaku ranks for the first time in a long time. We will see how he does, but again, I don't think he's the strongest sumo wrestler in this bunch. More like Tama washed up, right? Shodai, you know, he's big, he's cool. I want to like him, but I just don't like him as much as I might like someone else in this section here. I mean, he could pull a 10 and 5. He is equally likely to pull a 5 and 10, you know? Koto Shoho, on the other hand. Koto Shoho, another young guy, 24 years old. I was talking about how Shonan no Umi and Kinbozan were young. This guy is even younger. He hasn't reached his ceiling yet. Coming off of the back of 3 straight Kachikoshi. Small Kachikoshi from Maegashira 9 with an 8 and 7. Definitely has the potential to get another Kachikoshi here. And I don't know if we'll ever see him back to, like, you know, Maegashira 3 status. Considering Maegashira 5, you know, drops him back to these middle ranks. And, you know, if he were at Maegashira 11, I would probably say, yeah, vote Koto Shoho, because he's going to get a winning record easy. But from this rank, competition is slightly stiffer. Maybe an 8 and 7, maybe a 9 and 6. I don't see him getting 10 wins. Takanosho. Coming off of a horrible tournament with a gold star. The last time he was down this far, he got a 10 and 5 record. So again, another one of those guys who's hot and cold. You know, when he was still a Sekiwake, we would talk about how he needs to improve his footwork. And we've been saying it for literal years at this point. he has not improved his footwork. I think he's stuck in his ways, and if his ways get him wins from lower ranks, power to him. But I don't trust him to really... Like, his brand of sumo is not the strongest out there. Mitakeumi, same thing. Mitakeumi, he has not been the same since he made it to Ozeki. He has been significantly weaker. I don't know what it could be. Honestly, like... There's really no explaining it. He's still the same big dude he always has been, but he just doesn't have the strength anymore. I used to think he was like Yokozuna hopeful, but I mean, he just doesn't have it anymore. It would be weird to say he is, declining in skill, considering he's 9 years younger than Tamawashi, who's at near the same rank. But I'm just not confident in Mitakeumi either, honestly. Nishikigi as well. His time in the sun was really nice up at Komusubi, and, now that he made it to Komusubi, he'll be known as a Komusubi forever. But coming off of a 3-12, I think this is the beginning of the end for Nishikigi. I doubt he will push back up the Banzuke, and if he does, it'll be short-lived again. Maybe an 8-7 to put him at Maegashira 5 or 4, just so he can go 7-8 or fall back down. I don't... Like, he's strong, but he really was not strong at the previous tournament. I don't know what was wrong with him. That leaves us with Midorifuji. Fan favorite, probably the favorite out of this group. Fun technician, great sumo wrestler. But like, he's small, he's speedy, agile, sure, but his Katasukashi is not enough. As fun as his Katasukashi is, 3 days in a row, whole Shoryu, Koto Shoho, and Shodai. That was in my top 10 video, for those of you who didn't see it from the last tournament. He's got to have more than that if he wants to consistently win. And as cool as he is, as fun as he is, again, there's really nobody here I can confidently give my vote to. So, you know what I have to do. I have to pick Takanosho for the sake of my wife. She would kill me if I didn't pick Takanosho. And I have to pick Takanosho here. It was funny because the last tournament, she picked all the same people because Tobizaru and Takanosho were in the same tier. I picked Tobizaru. She picked all the same people as me, but picked Takanosho instead. And, well, we can see how that turned out. Takanosho's gonna sink you. Honestly, anyone in, like, this section of the Banzuke is a crapshoot. Maegashira 6 through 10, any one of these guys can sink you, or they will get an 8-7, and that'll be pleasantly surprising. It's really hard to make a call on anyone here. I'm leaning towards Shonano Umi or Keen Bozan as my favorites in this group. But hey, screw it. I picked Aoyama in a tournament where he went like 4-11. We need a wild card to differentiate ourselves from the rest of the Banzuke, because lots of people are going to pick Kotozakura, lots of people are going to pick Onosato, a good handful of people will pick Tobizaru, nobody's going to pick Takanosho. So if Takanosho does better than everyone else in this section, which is just as likely as him doing worse than everyone else in this section, then that's a win right there. If Takanosho goes 6-9 and everybody else here goes 5-10, that's a win. That'll bring us to the bottom of the Banzuke. Sadano Umi, Hokuto Fuji, that is not an endorsement of Nishiki Fuji, but I like him. Ichi Yamamoto, Nishiki Fuji, Mitoryu, Churano Umi, Ryuden, Oshoma, Toki Hayate, Roga, Tomokaze, Takerufuji, and Tsurugisho. I'm just going to strike off a couple of guys right now. Tsurugisho, Takerufuji, Mitoryu, Sadanoumi, and Ichi Yamamoto, and even Hokutofuji are not my picks. Those guys are not my picks. They're inconsistent. A lot of them are on the older side. Tsurugisho has injuries in his past. Hokutofuji is inconsistent. He's cool, don't get me wrong, but like a 6-9 at the previous tournament when he should have had double digits from Maegashira 9, that does not inspire confidence. He should not be this low on the Banzuke, and I don't know if I trust him to get 10 plus wins. Sadanoumi, on the older end of the spectrum, I don't trust him to get more than, 8 wins. Same with Takerufuji, Tsurugisho, Mitoryu. I mean, Tsurugisho's not even that old, is he? He's 32. Takerufuji, though, 37. Ryuden, he probably has the potential to be one of the guys to get 10 wins down here, but there are other guys that I would want to believe in even more. Nishikifuji, Churanoumi, let's talk about them real quick. I'm just gonna say I don't really want to pick Ichi Yamamoto. Again, too much inconsistency there. He went 11-4 from a similar position. He also went 4-11 and 7-8 from similar positions. So, what is his deal? What's the deal with Ichi Yamamoto? Churanoumi has not made it higher than Maegashira 13. 31 years old. Probably not the pick. Probably not the pick. Nishikifuji, 27 years old. He's been up the Banzuke. He's been down the Banzuke. Look at this. 5-10. 3-12, 5-10, 5-10, 6-9. Judio bounces back, and then 8-7 from Maegashira 14. Again, that doesn't really, that's not an inspiring scoreline right there. That does not scream, yes, I am going to get 10 wins from the bottom of the Banzuke. So I won't be picking Nishikifuji either. Oshoma and Ryuden, two assholes. Although Ryuden is a much bigger asshole. Oshoma, a bully, finally breaking away from a Judio 4. He was at Judio 4 for almost an entire year. Judio 3, Judio 5, Judio 4, Maegashira 14. How is he going to do in his debut? Not too sure. Being at a plateau for so long and breaking past that, that's a good sign. Oshoma, having been stuck at Judio 4 and now 11-4, that's a good sign if you want to pick him and if you, want to win. But a debut in the top division is not the same as being stuck at the top of Judio. It's a completely different monster. Is Oshoma ready for the top division? That's the big question. Toki Hayate, 27 years old. He's on a win streak. He went straight from a 7-0 Yusho from Makushita 1 all the way up. He's on that rise. Again, is he going to be shocked by the sudden jump in skill at the top here? Or will he continue winning? Is Toki Hayate that guy? That'll be hard to say. And then, of course, a lot of people's favorites because of the sumo food, Roga. He's been up here, but he hasn't been able to find his footing. He's still, 25 years old. He's got time to develop. I think he is still developing. He's not bad. It's, again, kind of a toss-up between who the least bad sumo wrestler in this section is. Much like how Maegashira 6 through 10 was, Maegashira 11 through 17, there's really nobody I'm excited for here. Tomokaze, I believed in him a couple tournaments ago, but, maybe that injured leg and foot is just holding him back from this top division. I'm not confident in him either. It's really hard to say, because I think the smartest pick here is Oshoma. You could realistically argue for anyone here, but I already said I don't want to vote for any of the older guys, and these debutantes are also, a little worrying to look at, to note. Chura no Umi is an older dude who only barely made it up into this top division, kind of like a Kiseyama did, although he's not as uniquely shaped, so he gets passed over. Nishikifuji might be my pick as a dark horse, considering he made it up to Maegashira 3. You know, he trains with the Yokozuna in that stable. You have to consider their training partners as well. So maybe Nishikifuji is the pick. Maybe Oshoma is the pick. Maybe Roga is the pick. I think I'm going to let the dice roll. Alright. 1 and then every 3 after is going to be Nishikifuji. 2 and every 3 after is going to be Chura no Umi. And 3 and every 3 after is going to be Oshoma. I'm rolling a d20. It is not a spin down. And a 20 is a reroll. No, 20 is Ryuden. And the dice reveals unto me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'll be picking Oshoma here. No, wait, Roga. Because it was Nishikifuji, Oshoma, Roga. 20 is chat's choice. That's actually a better idea. I do believe that army. That's it's either probably going to be Kotozakura or Hoshoryu, maybe Dark Horse ONOSATO. But again, it's really hard to pick someone in the bottom of the Banzuke. There's really nobody inspiring down here. And you know, sounds like an asshole to say it, but if you want to win Kachi Clash, you know, and win the prize, it's hard to pick anyone. Because a lot of these guys have not given you any reason to really be like, yeah, I believe in him. Sado no Umi, he's been sitting around in the bottom of the Banzuke for a little while, you know. Takerufuji, he used to be good for an 8 and 7 every tournament, but he dipped into Judio and only got an 8 and 7 in Judio. Tsurugisho, coming off of an injury from his Maegashira high. It's hard. Why not a Tommy Fuji for the win? Oh no, we're talking about like each individual section here. But a Tommy Fuji, well, we can actually transition into that now. Who do I think will win the Yusho? I believe it's going to be 50-50 Hoshoryu Kotozakura. Dark Horse might be ONOSATO. Tommy Fuji wouldn't be a bad pick either. I believe a Tommy Fuji is growing really well and really coming into his own. But after these 2 tournaments, you know, with middling scorelines, Maegashira 1, Maegashira 2, he's sticking around and that's a good thing. But I don't know if he's gonna be the guy. That and because I'm gonna pick Tobizaru every single time. Yes, they did do the ring blessing. I'm going to be showing that on Twitch because if I show it on YouTube, then I might get my channel taken down for copyright. So after we're done talking about this Kachi Clash, we will be transitioning over to Twitch. So, well, we're on Twitch and YouTube at the same time right now, but YouTube will have to migrate over to Twitch. So let's see. I already mentioned Terunofuji. I don't think he's at full strength. Same with Takakeisho. And between all of the Ozeki and Yokozuna at full strength, of course Terunofuji would win. But believing he's not at full strength, Hoshoryu or Kotozakura. Kirishima, they're saying he's been stronger, but I think Kotozakura and Hoshoryu are just a couple inches in front of Kirishima. ONOSATO, a definite dark horse, and I think that's just the hype talking, but ONOSATO is definitely going to be people's favorites. Thank you for the follow. As far as my other picks go, Tobizaru, he's my favorite, and I genuinely believe he might be the best pick in this section because of his trickiness. Takanosho, because my wife wants me to pick him. And truthfully, nobody else in this section really screams, I'm going to go 10 and 5 this tournament. And then the bottom section, I literally rolled the dice between 3 choices. Like, same story as the section above it, but it has a couple of slightly better contenders. And that is it for my Guess the Banzu, or my Kachi Clash. Let's lock that in, and it will be locked in tomorrow. Saw Chris Sumo say this is Teru's final Basho. Nah. I would say July. If he dips out of this one, I think he comes back for July. Either that or he stays out July, comes back September. But I want to try to keep my prophecy alive, where I said that Terunofuji's final Basho will be July, and he will win that, get his 10th Yusho, and then ride off into the sunset. But that'll be it for us on the YouTube side. Thank you so much for joining us over here. We will be back tomorrow with the sumo proper. If you want to keep up, be sure to come over to the Twitch, where we are going to be watching a couple of training videos and the dohyo consecration ceremony. Also, don't forget, I now have sumo merch available on my Etsy store. Stickers are available. You can get some of your favorite guys, like a whole Shoryu, not Koto no Waka, because his name is Koto Zakura now, and I did not print those out. But we have whole Shoryu, we have Takeyasu, we have Terunofuji. Stickers available. Be sure to pick some up. They are 20% off with discount code Natsu Basho. And if we sell enough stickers, that means I will be able to expand to other pieces of merchandise, such as towels, acrylic standees, and more. And the more being rubber keychains. And fan towels. Did I mention fan towels already? I hope I did. But that'll be it for us on the YouTube side. Thank you very much for joining. We will see you all tomorrow, unless you migrate over to the Twitch chat, in which we will be watching a couple of videos.